race number 5 at Belmont Park. It is Perth, race number 10 for our Singapore viewers. It's over the 1200 metres, and I'm excited about this race. Bashay has been in some brilliant form. Queen of Choice seems to have a little bit of career, and then you've got some really honest types like Cadenza in the race as well.
Yeah, I'm trying not to overthink this race because I'm playing it out in my head, and there's different ways of assessing this, and ultimately the money for 9 Queen of Choice was so overwhelming last start, and the run was outstanding. We'll have 29 black from the previous race, and of course William Pike getting on board.
And we know we're going to have speed as well with Bashay in the race as well. Let's take a look at that replay then from last start for Queen of Choice, finishing 2 lengths behind Rule to Win.
Now by Chasing Chaos, and Vonus getting up on its inside, so it's a line of 3. Rule to Win is starting to stalk just behind those, and then came Cut the Nonsense, 200 left to go. Chasing Chaos, Rule to Win joins it now, and then came Cut the Nonsense starting to run on strongly. Rule to Win the leader from Chasing Chaos. Cut the Nonsense's run has come to an end, and Rule to Win came away to score. Rule to Win beat Chasing Chaos. Cut the Nonsense third home.
It was a great run in the end by Queen of Choice. The finish was outstanding, and we're still going back to that debut run where it's produced all the horses like Tentadon and Threeson, who have both won since, and some other good form behind it as well. And with William Pike getting on board, barrier 5, I think it's Queen of Choice's race.
Bashay has been brilliant so far this campaign. Simon Miller's alluded that he's just glad that she's finally bringing her work to the track. If she continues the way that she has been going, I can see her just skipping away at the top of the straight, and everybody else is going to have to work very hard to try and catch her.
Yeah, that's, I guess, the overthinking part I was talking about earlier. When you look at this race and on speed, if there's any way the 9 Queen of Choice is held up or back in the field, then Bashay will pinch the break, and the way it's been racing has just been outstanding. Though I will say the last 2 starts, I don't think it's been beating much, but the way it's been doing it has been fantastic.
Number 6, Miss Cyclonic, still the interesting runner for me. Trying to analyse where she is at the moment. I still think she's one of the classier runners in the field, but I'm not sure whether she's just not enjoying the soft track and she's looking for it to be a little bit firmer. What's your thoughts from the 2 runs so far and where you put her into this race?
Yeah, I'm at a loss because I think on face value, I've been incredibly disappointed by her. But at the end of the day, you look, she was only beaten 1.5 lengths by Shostakovich. But in saying that, she probably had run of the race. The speed was right on, had enough to get over the top of the leader. She's only placed 3 times from 7 attempts in town now, and this wide barrier certainly doesn't help.
Well, let's take a look at selections for race number 5. I'm going to be tipping number 9, Queen of Choice, from number 4, Bashay, number 3, Cadenza, and number 6, Miss Cyclonic, 9, 4, 3 and 6.
I'm 9 Queen of Choice on top from 4 Bashay, 6 Miss Cyclonic, and number 5 Dawn's Flyer.
Race number 6 at Belmont Park. It is Perth, race number 11 for our Singapore viewers. It's over the 1,000 metres, and again, really looking forward to this horse with a few horses like Kenosha and also BAYLEY'S Fine coming back, but then a real honest type like Ruby Can Run in the race.
Yeah, we'll certainly have the form line through Ruby Can Run, through Prophet Street earlier in the day. And Kenosha, well, it's up in the weights, but its form looks fantastic behind Universal Moon, which is similar form lines to some of the others in this race.
I think a lot of the punters have got tired of trying to wait for Flying Zoe to win a race. It got close last start, finishing second. Let's take a look at the replay now.
A further 2 Mickey Moto gift over on the outside, then Levi's Boy Illusion of Light getting up near the rail, and Flying Zoe cutting right back here towards the cutaway and finishing strongly with 200 left to go. Park Lane in front from Keep On Dancing. Flying Zoe over towards the inside, but Keep On Dancing hits the lead with 100 left to go. Keep On Dancing clear of Flying Zoe coming to the end of her run, and then Park Lane, but Keep On Dancing too good, won easily.
That was a great run in the end by Flying Zoe, but it was just a little bit disappointing because it very much ran out of petrol late. And if it's doing that, I guess at that level, Keep On Dancing is a good horse, but I just don't have a lot of confidence that she can get it done. Up to the 56.5 kilograms, that's a bit of a negative. But, you know, I don't want to completely write her off, just been disappointed in her.
Kenosha showed us a fair bit early on so far in her career. The form lines with Universal Moon and also Fireborn are strong. The 58 kilos will be interesting to see how she goes with that, but what are your thoughts on her in this race?
Yeah, it's much with the 6 Ruby Can Run in my opinion, although Ruby Can Run has the weight advantage. They both finished behind Universal Moon, or Ruby Can Run actually beat it. So I think with those form lines, I'm favouring the 6 just from the 3, but certainly does have the X factor.
Number 7, BAYLEY'S Fine. At last start, I thought the 1,500 was too far. Even the start before the 1,400, I think this horse wants a lesser distance. It gets the 1,000 metres. It's got plenty of speed as well. I know Simon Miller has a bit of an opinion of this horse. What do you think she can do over this distance?
I think the barrier's okay if they can get across. It just needs that reduced speed inside. There doesn't appear to be too much on paper. I'm not totally convinced of the form lines, but I'm happy to take a price if it gets out.
Let's take a look at selections then. I'm going to be tipping number 3, Kenosha. From number 7, Bayley's Fine. Number 6, Ruby Can Run. And number 1, Flying Zoe, 3761.
6, Ruby Can Run from number 3, Kenosha. The 4, Rio Flyer, and the 11, Kim Excel. I think they can go close. Got a hankering for their form lines, 6, 3, 4, 11.
Race number 7 at Belmont Park. It is Perth. Race number 12 for our Singapore viewers. It's over the 1,000 metres as well. And again, I found this race quite tough. I thought there was only a few chances, but very hard to separate a few of them.
Yeah, it really is a very open race because not too many of these are putting their hand up. We do have the good historical form lines of Put Up Your Dukes, but it will carry the 59.5 kilograms and has drawn wide. But then there's the ultra-consistent Disco Duck, whose form lines are not flash, but it's just so honest.
And it's something that Neville Parnham's actually done really well this campaign with his horses. He's gone to Kalgoorlie, then brought them back, and somehow they seem to be stronger, fitter, and they're winning the races as well. And Disco Duck went to Kalgoorlie last start, only lost by a long head. And let's take a look at the final stage of that race now.
Fly Kiss worked to the outside by Turner, and back behind them was Arsenal Power, 250 to travel. Prager in front, Disco Duck giving a crack with a whip out after the leader. Gold Netto, Foxy Commander, Butterfly Kiss. Prager is about to be joined by Disco Duck and Foxy Commander. Prager just in front. Disco Duck trying hard to get him. Prager's boxing on and he does it. Prager wins by a neck on the line from Disco Duck. Third, Foxy.
Yeah, I think it can run a similar race again. Disco Duck has been sticking on really quite nicely. As I mentioned, I don't like the form lines. I don't think they are good enough, but then again, the opposition really don't present that well.
And the claim with Jordan Turner as well, sure to help her in this race. So what about the stablemate, Steve Surprise? The form lines behind Volkov, obviously, that was when Volkov was running strongly, and also Klondike King, that was the final run before the spell. I just thought this was a horse that might be able to pop up.
Yeah, it was a good trial. Stephen Parnham got to work on it, hit it quite hard, and it responded in the final stages. And you just look at that performance behind Volkov, that would be good enough to win if Volkov was where it would be in this field.
Number 7, travelling for Jim Taylor. That run behind Kansas Star in its first campaign. It was well and back in the field, ran on strongly. Last start, it went to the front, and at the bend, I thought this horse was just going to bolt in. Struggled over the final stages, but I'm willing to forgive that run, even though it was still only 2 lengths behind Prophet Street, and I think it can really win this race.
Yeah, so do I. I think it is Travelling's race. It bumped into a pretty sharp field last start, and once again we'll have the form lines through the day through Prophet Street. I just think Travelling from that inside barrier, it's his race to win.
Let's take a look at the race then, and I am going to be tipping at number 7, Travelling. From number 6, Steve Surprise. Number 1, Disco Duck, and number 3, Put Up Your Dukes.
I'm 7, Travelling. From number 3, Put Up Your Dukes. Number 6, Steve Surprise, and number 2, Hartley's Hope.
Race number 8 at Belmont Park. It is Perth. Race number 13 over the 1,400 metres, and we see William Pike again teaming up with David Harrison, but a few other horses that have been in good form like Wanderer, and I thought Unbridled Spirit was a good run last start as well.
Yeah, I quite like the 2 Unbridled Spirit. Look, it still has to beat Boy Burns that finished ahead of it, but I just think that break between runs is a little bit awkward. Wanderer is racing outstandingly at the moment, and the 5 Boy Burns, as we mentioned, there was a great finish last start with William Pike on board, but it's just not getting the job done, is it?
Well, we can take a look at the few horses with those form lines from the Boy Burns race. As you mentioned, still wasn't able to win, finished second in that race. Let's take a look at the closing stages now.
Jack High, who's tracking up in the middle, and they're followed further back by Ginger Ninja, Little Shadow. Headed the remainder, 300 left to go, and Believe You Can has got through on the inside to hit the front. Unbridled Spirit coming down the middle of the track with its run, followed by Boy Burns along the rail. Believe You Can in front with 100 to go, and down the outside, Little Shadow closing. It's Believe You Can, now driving Boy Burns. Believe You Can, Boy Burns, Believe You Can, Believe You Can.
It should get a great run there. Boy Burns in transit. Look, it almost got there. It was a good finish in the end. And David Harris and William Pike have a great chance of bookending this card.
What about number 1, Wanderer? I thought the form has been very good so far this campaign. The 1,400 metres now stepping up. The claim with Jordan Turner as well. All things are saying this horse can win.
Yeah, from a good inside barrier, you'd like to think they can be a little bit closer to the speed. Last start was excellent when finishing, just going down, carrying the 60 kilograms. But of course, William Pike, who rode it last start, is on Boy Burns.
Number 8, pre-selection. I thought the form lines here are quite strong. You go back to the last time it won, it was in a 52 to 64 and it carried the 57. It only has to carry the 55 kilos here as well, drawn nicely in barrier 2. And it's a horse that doesn't have a big turn of foot or anything like that, but you just know it's going to be a chance come the straight.
Yeah, I really like pre-selection. I think it can run a very solid race. As you mentioned, that last race it won, it beat home Hashtag and Miss Halloween. Now, they have done very well since. Both have won. and I just think pre-selection might be a sneaky chance.
So let's take a look at selections then for the final race of the day, and I'm going to be tipping number 5, Boy Burns, from number 1, Wanderer, number 8, pre-selection, and number 3, Ginger Ninja, 5, 1, 8 and 3.
On 2, Unbridled, Spirit to Improve from the break between runs, number 1, Wanderer, the 5, Boy Burns, and number 8, pre-selection.
But that brings us to the end of another edition of Box Seat, so it is time to take a look at the best bets. And as I said, I found it quite hard to find the best bets, but I'm thinking that David Harrison and William Pike are going to have a big day. Race 5, number 9, Queen of Choice, and race 8, number 5, Boy Burns.
You can't really argue with those selections, but I'm going with race 3, number 11, Penthouse Pet, and race 4, number 10, 29 Black.
Now, for all of our selections and late mail on the day, make sure you do follow us on Twitter at Perth Racing. Instagram and Facebook will also be active. And of course, the website as well, perthracing.com.au, which now you can watch all the free replays as well.
Yeah, that was a great initiative. Starting the 1st of August, replays free for everything for all West Australian racing. So time's finally come. I'm glad it's happened.
So for all our Singapore viewers that do want to have a look at some of these races, do make sure you visit the website now, perthracing.com.au. Ian, thank you for your help again. Hopefully you found a few more winners.
Oh, my pleasure, Adam.
We'll be back again next Saturday with another edition of Box Seat.